Being taken into seclusion is absolutely awful, scary and daunting when you see 4 people all walking towards you, and for me it was just a total freak out because I knew what was happening. No control, you have no control, and you know you've got no control, and you can't do anything. I started off as a 16-year-old, sweet, innocent, naive country girl, and worked in a very large institution in Levin. Back in those days, we didn't call it seclusion, and there were no rules and regulations like there are now, but we often referred to it as the time-out room. We grabbed hold of the person under the arms, and one person on each arm, one person on each leg, and into the room and dump on the bed, and then out you get as fast as you can and shut the door. Today, of course, it's still a legal option for staff to use. When you're working in these really harsh environments, which is where this happens, it possibly will be happening every now and then. Research has shown now that it can traumatise people and does traumatise people. I'm a classic example of somebody who it has traumatised. On the day that it happened, my husband rang for help and we went into hospital. I don't remember much else after that, other than waking up, sitting on the seclusion bed, sort of really is the next thing I remember, rocking myself to comfort after screaming and yelling and fighting and telling people I wanted to see my husband. I strongly believe that if they had listened to what I was saying, which was, I want my husband, and they would have been able to accommodate that I would never have been secluded in the first place, and so I wouldn't have to live now with the trauma of knowing that I had been in there. So I want people to know that there's other ways of doing it, you know. Yes, I was demanding. Yes, I was uninhibited. Yes, I was aggressive. I know all that. You know, I know what I would have been like as a patient at the time. And I also know that if they'd listened and had let my husband come in, things would have been a bit better for me. After I came out of seclusion, I was well enough to be transported out of the district because staying in the place where I was in my work environment. So that was extremely sort of embarrassing and awkward for everybody. The main thing that helped me there was that they allowed my husband to come with me. That's what made the difference. And then I came home. And then I went back to work. Then slowly, sort of 2-year mark, flashback sort of memories come. That isolation, that sense of isolation, that sense of hopelessness, that sense of needing to smooth yourself, all of those sorts of feelings come when I think about it. I can't stand hearing keys rattling, because that to me is a sign that they're coming to open the door. You know, they come in teams to open the door to make sure that you don't attack them. It's hard, it's been hard. I want to try and stop it from happening to somebody else. As a consumer advisor, my role is to give the consumer perspective to the service. Often the service has its demands from the ministry or other places, and the person has their own demands, you know, coming from them. And sometimes those two things don't mix that well together. There are some collective things that do help lots of people. Being listened to is one of them. One-to-one care, you know, not a whole group of people coming in for you. Whānau, music, distraction, food. Sometimes people come in and they haven't eaten for days. There's lots of sensory stuff that can happen, but you also have to have the right environment as well. You know, we're talking about de-escalating people a lot of the time before they go into seclusion. There'll be a restraint or an attempt to de-escalate. And I guess that's one of the take-home messages I want for people to watch, is that my advice would be to learn more than 2 ways of de-escalating somebody, because there's lots of different ways, and you have to think outside the square. I present in my own organisation at a training course that they do to learn about de-escalation and restraint holds. I give them a handout to start with and say, hey, thanks for coming to learn how to do your job better, because when you get it wrong, it hurts, and then I show my little finger as an example of a restraint hold that went wrong that now has given me permanent damage. So it hurts on a lot of levels when the staff get it wrong. It's much more than just the seclusion. It's the whole culture, it's the whole way that we work with people. It's about person-centred care, trauma-informed, recovery-focused. There's always going to be situations that have to be managed, and it's the way that we do that in the future moving forward. We're not going to do it like we used to, we're going to do it differently, you know, and hopefully that will create less traumatised people